Today I've got a brand new disc from Thought Space Athletics. It's the new Vessel in this gorgeous Vex plastic. And I say a new disc, it's kind of a new disc, it's kind of not a new disc. This was approved very recently by Thought Space, but in reality it was actually approved at the beginning of last year, and I'll explain. It was approved previously as this, the Zone Ringer GT concept. So last year, at the beginning of the year, Discraft released what they call the Battle Pack, and they released two new versions of one of the most popular discs ever made, the Discraft Zone. And they released two versions, one with the ringer top, one with the banger top. And what you would do is you would actually get a little card with a QR code, and you would go and vote and decide, and through that they would decide which one they would put into full production. The banger top was the one that actually won the contest and got put into full production, so they had the ringer top mold just laying around. Now, ThoughtSpace is doing a partnership with Discraft for manufacturing, and they said, hey, why don't we get our hands on that? ThoughtSpace had the Temple, which was available in kind of their base plastics and had the same flight numbers as the Zone. But with this, they've got something newish they can put into a premium plastic. And we're here down at Dry Creek Disc Golf Park today to test it out on several holes. We're not going to do any field throws on this one because it's a short enough distance that I should be able to get what I want to know out of it by throwing it at these baskets. All right, so we're going to start with throwing at basket number 2. It's about 210 feet away. It should be perfect. Just crank this out nice and high, get it to fall in the basket. Give the camera a little more height. All right, here we go. Great shot. Just short, just a hair short. All right, ringer concept. There we go. Stable up. Very nice. Park job. And the Get Freaky Crystal Flex Zone. That Vex plastic is a little gummy, not quite as gummy as the Crystal Flex, but close enough. Oh, just behind the basket. So you've heard me say this before, the overstable approach disc is something that could be a staple, or should be a staple really, in everybody's bag. Beginners, intermediates, the top pros or throwing zones. An overstable approach disc is one of the most indispensable discs that you can have, particularly because of its ability to be shaped. Now, you can put it at low power on many different lines, and you're going to get the shape you want out of it. It's easy to control. The blunt edge means it's not going to be affected as much by the wind, and it's going to give you the ability to put the disc close whenever you throw it. Full disclosure, that actually wasn't a hole on the course. That's just me throwing from kind of the tee box at 1 to the basket at 2, just because it's a nice open field and I can kind of air it out. Here, though, we're getting into some more technical shots. So this is hole number 3. The play on this hole, you can either try to shoot straight at it, but then you've got to deal with that tree that's in the middle. What I like to do is take my zone and just kind of put it out to the right and let the disc crash at the basket. There's a few guardian trees there, but for some reason stuff just tends to want to get through. So let's give it a few throws, starting with the Vessel. On the path, get off that tree, get at the basket. Oh my goodness. All right, ringer top. That one's going to fall short, but that's okay. It's still going to be at the basket. Oh my goodness, another one. All right, get freaky. Get in the basket. See if we can't ring one up, shall we? And that Crystal Flex is so much straighter. Oh, it was a great line until it hit that tree. So right off the bat, I'm seeing that Crystal Flex Zone might not have been the best choice for comparison, mostly because that Crystal Flex is quite a bit straighter. It's not as overstable. You saw it on that last throw. It just kind of pushed forward, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, it's like a beat up zone, which is great. I throw an ESP zone generally, and it's quite overstable. The one thing I really want to compare though is the ringer top and the Vessel, mostly because I believe they're the identical mold. I don't know if they did any adjustments to it before, any retooling before they went into full production with it, but the hand feel is practically identical. And the flight is pretty close too. Let's see where they ended up. So there's the Vessel. Fantastic. Birdie putt. And then the GT, the ringer top, went deep. clear white. Not the best color for trying to find it in the woods. There we go. We're back at hole 4. I've set myself up just off the tee pad because I want to be able to throw kind of a forehand flex line, which is one of the things I absolutely love to do with my zone, my overstable approach disc. It's just such a useful shot. First, with the vessel. Pretty small gap there, actually. Oh. Get at the basket. Oh my God, that went deep. All right, maybe not so much oomph on it. That's better. Be good. Oh, off the pin. Much better. Oh, very nice. There we go. One of the challenges I've always had with my zone, with the overstable approach, is having the touch to put it just at the basket. For some reason, whenever I throw that forehand approach, it always wants to absolutely run the basket. And this vessel was no exception. Went right over the basket. This is going to be a hard putt. Maybe a little bit of Hyzer. Oh, too much! I love this course this time of year. It is blackberry season. Oh, and they're just delicious. They're absolutely perfectly ripe. Mm. Mm. I find myself in the blackberries enough that maybe I'll eat quite a few in a round. For better or for worse. Mm. All right, moving on. I still struggle to get a decent shot of this hole. Not a shot at the hole, but an actual shot on video of this hole because it's so extreme. Basically, I'll highlight where the basket is behind those trees. You just want to put it into the gap with a little bit of hyzer and let the disc do the work, right? Simple. Let the disc do the work. Just like that. Excellent. That's the way I want to do it. Oh, right at the pin. That's better. Very nice. Okay, full disclosure, those weren't my first 3 throws of the basket. I had to take 5 or 6 runs at it in order to get 3 decent shots. But that's kind of the point of this series, is not to show you how discs fly when I shank them. It's more about how are they supposed to fly when you hit the line, when you do everything right. This is what you can expect out of it, because that's kind of the ideal, is that you want to basically pick discs that will do what you want to do. I've never been a fan of allowing for the miss, where I'm shanking it. I might as well throw it way to the right to allow for the shank. No, just hit your lines, man. Just hit your line. Do it right. Let's have a look at where we're at. Not a bad grouping. I mean, I've got to get around this tree here, but okay, let's not bag putt. That just says wrong. That just is all wrong. Uh-oh. There we go. So I want to say, as I'm doing that, and as I'm set up here, let's talk about this for a second. The zone was always a putt and approach disc. That's how Discraft still lists it on their site. The vessel is probably going to be very, very similar. Putt and approach is kind of a class of discs. The thumb track on this, when I got the GT, the battle pack, the other zone with the banger top, again, same thing, much bigger thumb track in it, but it just makes it feel so right for a putter. So yeah, I've seen people try to putt with zones before with the overstable approach disc, and they always end up going back to a dedicated putter, mostly because of the stability. You don't want to have to work the disc too much when you're out at distance. But I think it feels way better when you want to putt with it than a regular zone with the flat top. That thumb track makes it, I think, a legitimate putter candidate from within circle 1. I don't think I've thrown this hole on camera before. This is hole 11. It's the shortest hole on course. It's 163 feet, but it's perfect for just flexing out a forehand with the overstable approach disc. Let's have a run at it. Another thing about the thumb track is on a forehand, the thumb track position is just about perfect for me. I love having my thumb in that track. On a backhand, it feels to me like the thumb track is a little bit farther out. I kind of want to have my thumb right about there, but of course, naturally, it gravitates to the thumb track, and that feels a little bit odd. Just a thought on comfort. It's more comfortable on the forehand, for sure. There we go. Might be a bit deep. That should be parked. Might just dribble over the hill. That's okay. There's lots of rocks down there. It'll stop it from moving. Get off that tree. There we go. All the way down. So what I did there is actually pretty typical of this hole. The miss oftentimes is to go a bit long. The vessel, though, look at that. Absolutely parked. Could not ask for a better shot there. But all those rocks down there you see, in the wintertime, all that's covered by rushing, roaring water. In the summertime, you drop down the hill like this, that's not a big deal. It's just a quick little putt. But in the winter here, I'd be just about waist deep in water. Where did you go, little zone? Oh, there you are. Huh. Well, that worked out pretty darn good. I hope you knew I was going to end up here. I've got the camera tilted up because I plan on throwing these up quite high and wide as kind of my preferred line lately on this hole. This is hole 17 at Dry Creek. Obviously, the basket is off to the right over water, although there's quite a bit less water in here. In the wintertime, the water comes up easily halfway up the bank over on the far side. So what I just want to do is just put this out. It's 182 feet. Put it out high and wide and just have it crash at the basket. Let's go. I actually have a couple of aces on this hole. I aced it on camera during the video for the range, but I also aced it on the forehand with my zone. So there's a couple different lines that you could take at this basket. I'm just going to take the stock hyzer out wide and crash it at the basket. I got to get these right. I don't want to have to walk all the way around. Yeah, out wide, should skip right at the basket. Woo. A little bit long, a little bit behind it, but that was perfect. I love that line. Let's try that again. A little bit higher that time. Oh, and a little bit short. We've ringed it. This one's not nearly as stable though, so let's try to get this out. Let's try to fire this a little more straight. Nope, I'm going to turn it right over into that tree. All right. Well, the discs I wanted to show off sure did well though. Thanks for joining me here again. Oh, blackberries. Oh, so soft. Where was I? Oh yeah. Hey, thanks for joining me again here today at Dry Creek Disc Golf Park. It certainly is dry today. Normally we can't even walk across these rocks to get to 17. Whoa. God, I don't want to die on camera. So some final thoughts on the Thought Space Athletics Vessel. I think it's a fantastic disc. I think it's easily as good as the Zone. The ringer top, it may not be for everybody. I think, again, as I said, on the forehand, the feel is much better in my hand. But on the backhand, it's not terrible. It's just, it's a little bit different. Where did that, oh, there's the Zone. But I think it's overstable enough, and that Vex plastic is absolutely spectacular. I can't think of anything that Discraft does in a plastic that is like that. I mean, they've got metal flake probably, but I mean, just how gummy that thing is and how sticky it is in the hand. It just wants to glue to your hand. There we go, a couple of park jobs. Thanks again for joining me here. I'd say get out and practice your putting, but you know, if you can put your approach disc this close, you know, you're going to be tapping in. So get out there, find a good overstable approach disc that suits your game. I think this thing is a winner. It's a fantastic disc, and this Vex plastic is truly something else. So get out there, have fun, find a local disc store, buy some discs, and just get out there and fling them at the trees. Thanks again. We'll see you next time here on Graybeard Disc Golf.